Alright guys, hope you're all good. I was just in the process of making my discussion slash build video for NPC difficulty within Warlords of New York when some new, hot, fresh news slid into my Twitter notifications and I had to make this video, like, right now. Guys, please pay attention here. Cancel your evening with the missus, watching soaps and slowly watching your spirit leave your body. Cancel everything. Get to the Dark Zone right now. Like, right now, because it's being nerfed. If you didn't know, the Dark Zone's scaled with heroic, meaning the rewards are crazy good right now. That's what everyone is farming, and it's being nerfed. Not just the Dark Zone, by the way, but your favourite weapon might be getting the nerf hammer too. Yes, we're talking about the NEGEV LMG. Let's take a look at the maintenance coming tomorrow. So guys, this was the Twitter notification that got me a little bit scared and forced me to make this video, and we're going to go into the more details here. But as you can see, agents, we're deploying several bug fixes, good news, and some Dark Zone loot adjustment, bad news, during a maintenance tomorrow, March 6th at 9:30 AM CET, it's 3 hours, and more details here. And this is the more details part, and I was a little bit surprised by the notes here, guys, because it wasn't just the Dark Zone that got nerfed, and it's really, I'm not happy about it, let's just say that. Okay, so there's obviously some fixes here, we'll go over them whilst we're doing this video. So Arankina to behave odd when being affected by EMP fixed, echoes not to be interactable fixed, control point officer UI would not appear after interaction fixed, players not being able to speak to Calso, an issue that would prevent players from interacting with community leaders, again another fix for that one. This is the one, guys, that I did not expect to be in here, and I'm not overly happy. Fix an issue causing the IWI Negev doing 50% more damage than intended. Okay, so this one I'm a little bit frustrated about. I'll probably come back to it. Fix an issue where players were unable to lock the area, blah blah blah. None of this stuff is important, just other fixes, blah blah blah. Balance adjustments. We will be adjusting the loot quality in the Dark Zone with tomorrow's maintenance. When we made changes to the loot quality internally before Warlords of New York launched, we wanted to adjust heroic difficulty loot for missions. When doing so, the loot quality in the Dark Zone also was changed, as the difficulty reflects heroic level missions. But the Dark Zone loot quality had already been adjusted up before, which meant it double dipped with the change, and therefore it's currently higher than we intended it to be. With the change tomorrow, loot quality and the number of god rolls in the Dark Zone will be reduced, and it will be on par with challenging level missions difficulty. Blah 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 blah. Thanks for your patience. So what do we think about that, guys? Now, I've looked through what people are saying on Twitter about this, and one that I read recently was cutting off PvP players from amazing loot drops. Yeah, this is effing awesome, guys. Nice job. Let's force us to farm. Check CP4, check control point 4, and other PvE stuff. And then someone put, it's just pulling it in line with challenging PvE to whatever. So, do I think this is the right thing to do? Yes. Okay. Yes and no. So, it's going to be put in line with challenging level missions, which is fine because challenging level missions are challenging. Right, so so you're still going to get, you know, your good rolls, you're going to get your god rolls, but it does mean it's getting nerfed because at the moment it scales with heroic. So you go in there and the actual loot itself is on par with heroic, not the actual activities within the Dark Zone, because it does have varying levels of activities in there. You have normal, hard, challenging and heroic in there. And it's funny because I was playing Dark Zone earlier, and I noticed that heroic was just felt really off. It didn't even feel like heroic at all. So yeah, the loot is being nerfed down to challenging level loot, which is fine because challenging level loot is still very good. But I don't know, guys. Yeah, it feels good to go into the Dark Zone and farm it. I've been farming it today for the first time ever, knowing that the loot is very good. Am I still going to farm it knowing it's challenging level? Yes, I still am, absolutely. But I'm going to miss it. I'm really going to miss it. And I highly recommend you go into the Dark Zone now to get as many rolls as you can, like god rolls as you can, max rolls as you can, because I've got a lot from doing this. I guess the issue is when you have it on heroic and it's not particularly hard in the Dark Zone, then people are going to start filling up the recalibration library far too quickly, and they're going to run out of that gear chase. So I understand why they need to bring it down. I understand why it needs to be done, and I agree that it needs to be done in many ways, but I'm just a little bit frustrated about it. What I'm not very happy about the most is the NEGEV nerf. So the NEGEV is a really strong LMG. It's what everyone's pretty much running this at the moment because it's got really high DPS. And this could explain why, but I don't know how much it's going to be nerfed by. So it's not going to be cutting. It says it's 50% more damage than intended. So that means it's going to do 50% less damage. But based on the at least what I've seen from the weapon, if it does 50% less damage than it does now, it's going to be useless pretty much at that point. So there's going to be no point in reducing it down. Also, my main concern is that everyone is running the NEGEV, right? Pretty much for LMG builds and stuff. Just any DPS builds, really. And even then, stuff like challenging or certainly heroic, it still takes what? It takes more than a mag to take out. It's 150 mag. It takes more than a mag to take out a high end in many situations, if you're not hitting headshots especially. So reducing that damage down, or having to go to, say, something like an AR or any other LMG, just means that the bullet sponginess is going to become even more prominent than it is right now. At the moment, you can use the NEGEV, and it feels, yes, it's bullet spongy, but it feels okay. It feels like you're doing damage. But if you reduce the NEGEV by 50%, and then you're basically going to be using other weapons, you're going to find that actually the game's going to feel even more bullet spongy than it does now, which is again an issue that the community is talking about, and I just don't think that this is a particularly good idea. I just really don't think this is a good idea. I guess I get that the NEGEV is probably an outlier and it needs to be adjusted, right? And I've got no issues with that. I've got no issues with balancing, nerfing. You know, people hate nerfs, but to be honest, if you don't nerf stuff and you bring everything up, you get this power creep issue, and you don't want that. So it's much better just to nerf a weapon. But the point is, if you're going to nerf this, you're going to make, at least from what I can tell, you're going to make everything, all the stuff that people are complaining about right now, like difficulty and bullet sponginess, is going to become even more of a problem because they're not being able to use a weapon that is good enough for that content. So people are going to go to like ARs and stuff, which they're going to find doesn't do nearly as enough damage that the NEGEV does. Plus the NEGEV has such good sustained DPS because it's got 150 in the mag. It's going to become more of a problem. So I don't know, guys. I'm not overly pleased with this. I understand why it might need to be balanced. Okay, fine. But if you're going to do that, then you need to address the bullet sponginess or the difficulty with the game. I've got a difficulty thing coming out later where I talk about how, or tomorrow it will be now, where I talk about how I think difficulty is fine with the game. I think it's good, but I'm using the NEGEV, okay? So it feels fine. If I weren't using the NEGEV and I was using something like, you know, any other weapon, an ACR or any other weapon in the game really, then I may have a problem. So if they're gonna do this, I may have to revisit my discussion video that I've started, pretty much finished, because I might change my mind at that point. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to get this out to you guys as soon as possible because, honestly, you guys need to go to the Dark Zone right now. I was farming it earlier with Marker Blades. We were getting max rolls, like every time we killed a boss, every drop was like a max, had Summit on it, was a max roll. And yeah, I was getting my recal library up loads, and I was getting loads of, I know this isn't related, but my actual shade levels are going up very quickly, guys. It appears to be one of the best places to get your shade levels up as well. Really, really recommend you go to the Dark Zone. And to be honest, guys, out of the, what was it, maybe an hour or two that I was in the Dark Zone earlier with Marco Blades, we only got in one PvP battle. That was it. Like, really, people aren't PvPing a whole lot at the moment because they're trying to farm for the best gear. Everyone is in there for PvE at the moment. They're all trying to get for the best gear. Give it a couple of weeks, people have got their gear, that's when PvP will start. But right now is the best time to get in there and get that gear, especially now. You need to get in there now before the maintenance comes out. I'm going to be farming the Dark Zone even more now, knowing that it's going away. And also, I'm probably going to have to make some sort of vigil for the NEGEV now that it's going to be destroyed. Let me know what you think in the comments about this. Are you on the side of the NEGEV needed to be reduced down and that was the right thing to do? Or do you believe that actually this is going to cause the problems that I've been talking about? And with the Dark Zone, are you happy that they've changed it down, or are you not happy? Like I said, I understand why they've made the change. I get it. It's just when you've got something so good and then you kind of remove it and then add something less good, that's always feels a lot worse than going from something. Do you know what I mean? If it was, say, we went in there, it was hard difficulty loot, but then they put up to challenge him, it feels much better than going from heroic down to challenge. Do you know what I mean? And that's the main issue. I get it. It's fine. My main issue is with the NEGEV, less so than the DZ. Anyway, until the next one, guys. Epic out.